Hi everyone, it's Alice here, and today we're going to go through your EDU40003 Flicked Collab. Before we start, we will discuss our acknowledgement of country. We respectfully acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, who are the traditional owners of the land on which Swinburne's Australian campuses are located, and pay our respect to their elders past, present and emerging. We are honoured to recognise our connection to the Wurundjeri country, history, culture and spirituality through these locations, and strive to ensure that we operate in a manner that respects and honours the elders and ancestors of these lands. We also respectfully acknowledge Swinburne's Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander staff, students, alumni, partners and visitors. We also acknowledge and respect the traditional owners of lands across Australia, their elders, ancestors, cultures and heritage, and recognise the continuing sovereignties of all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island nations. We respectfully recognise the diversity of country on which we are grateful to live and learn. The task details. So assignment 1 is a report. It has a word limit of 2,800 words, of which you can go over or under by 10%, and the weighting is 60% of your grade. So this is a really practical report that you will commonly be asked to do in the education workplace. And this report is concerned with the current state of the Australian early childhood profession. This assignment supports unit learning outcomes 1, 2 and 3, and you can read more about those on the A1 page on Canvas if you wish to explore those further. This is the scenario for your report. You are a director of a local government early childhood education setting. The council has asked you to write a report to inform them about the current state of the Australian early childhood profession as they are considering developing funding, building and operating new community-based early childhood services. Your aim is to inform the council of the benefits and challenges of funding and supporting new education settings. So this is a list here of some of the features that are in a typical report, and these features will all need to be included in your report. These include numbered sections and or headings, a table of contents, an executive summary, an introduction, information presented with images, tables or diagrams, body paragraphs, a conclusion, a reference list, illustrations and examples to guide the reader, and appendices which are optional. So the body of your report, you must cover the following essential discussion points. You must discuss the characteristics and complexities of the early childhood profession, including the strengths and challenges in Australia today. So some examples of this first point here could be the public perceptions of our role. Are they good or bad? You will have to do some research there of your own and present your findings. Perhaps are there stereotypes in the community? Is there a current divide between the perceived care and the education that children are receiving? The next part identifies trends and movements influencing early childhood education. There is no set number of trends or movements here because this will depend on the content of your report. It would be great here to discuss the Australian context compared to perhaps 1 or 2 other countries. Now, some examples here are perhaps you could look at sustainability or early intervention as trends in early childhood education, and perhaps even nature play or technology. So they're just a few examples, but obviously there would be many more trends or movements. Feel free to throw some ideas out on the discussion board when you're researching any of this. Next part, describe the key legal obligations and policies that impact the early childhood profession and their implications for teaching and service provision. So for example here, some things you could discuss are child safety, ratios. It would be great to include these in a table if you wanted to show this. And perhaps you might even discuss some behaviour management policies. And if you do include excerpts from any policy, you will need to cite those correctly. And your last part here, you need to include a SWOT analysis that outlines why the council should support and fund this community-based service and some of the risks they should be aware of. Now, if you've never seen a SWOT analysis before, here's an example here, and here's the website down the bottom that I've cited this from. So you're welcome to visit this website and use this template if that helps you. So S stands for strengths or advantages, W is for weaknesses or areas for improvement, O is for opportunities, and T is for threats. So what you will need to do once you've done this table, you'll need to summarize this analysis into brief dot points and present the risks to the council that they should be aware of. Your report should also include these following sections. You will need to include a table of contents, which you can quite easily create in Microsoft Word, which is free for sole students. Make sure that in your contents page, the pages and the headings correspond with the matching page numbers. And obviously the whole purpose of this is so that the reader can quickly scan your headings and find that part in your report and go straight to that page number. So it's important to make sure that that all matches up. Now, your executive summary, this is only 200 words, so you will need to be very short, sharp, and succinct here. This is a short, clear summary of the whole report, outlining who the report is for and what you're hoping to achieve with it. So what's the purpose? You will need to give a summary of your recommendations. Now, there's a tip here in this second bullet point. Write a short draft outline of this when you're doing your plan. And when you have completed your whole report, you'll probably have to come back and complete this executive summary, because obviously when you're just starting out, you might not know what the summary of your recommendations are. So you will need to probably just do half of this and then come back to it and finish it at the end. This part here, this is your introduction. You've got about 300 words here. This sets the scene for your report. So this provides, this introduces the early childhood profession and provides a rationale explaining the relevance of teachers having an understanding of the current trends, policies, and movements impacting on the early childhood profession. You will need to introduce and outline the key aspects of your report and in any new terms with definitions of each term, because remember that the reader might not know these, so you will need to define any new terms. You can also include explanations of the acronyms or abbreviations used in your report by creating a short glossary. So for example, EYLF is an acronym for the Early Years Learning Framework, so you might want to explain that in your introduction. Next part, the main body of your report, you must include all of these, the essential discussion points, which we will come to in a moment. The main body of your report is where you discuss your key ideas. You will use literature to support your claims that describes the profession. Think carefully about what will be relevant and appropriate for a council audience. Use section headings and subheadings where points are grouped so that your report is logical and easy to follow. You can use some bullet points, but this section should mostly be discussion. Remember, this is not an essay. You can use images, photos, and diagrams to present your ideas. These must be labeled and headings included in your table of contents. They must include descriptions of what they are, so a caption, and they must be references with APA, in-text citations, and feature in your reference list. Even if it's your own photograph, you must cite that correctly. You can use examples, illustrations, vignettes, quotes, or case studies to guide the reader's understanding of the report content. Now, your conclusion, which is about 300 words. This will give a very short summary of your key points and recommendations for the council, outlining why they should invest in quality early childhood services for the community. And of course, your reference list. We're hoping that everyone should be well onto using APA 7 by now. And please make sure you use the correct in-text citations and that these correspond in your reference list. A report contains many references as you are reporting information, and you will do a lot of your own research. We do ask that you include a minimum of 15 references, but you'll probably find that once you get going and you've used all the unit course readings and done your own research, you will be up to many more than 15. Appendices. This is not included in your word count. This section may include supporting information such as examples of students' work, projects, and family feedback. And again, it's additional and it's not compulsory or included, but it could be great to enhance your ideas. So feel free to use that if you've got more that you want to say and you don't want to eat into your word count. And this second part of this slide is just about your relevant curriculum. So please use the relevant curriculum for your degree. If you're doing the early childhood degree, you'll be very familiar with the EYLF by now. If you're doing a primary degree, you'll probably be more comfortable using the Australian curriculum now. And you're also more than welcome to use your relevant state or territory curriculums. So please feel free to do so. So make sure you use your TEEL structure when you're writing your body paragraph. So think of the hamburger basically as your whole essay, and then your TEEL sections here, these are your body paragraphs. So make sure when you're doing paragraphs that they've got a topic sentence, you include evidence, explanations, and then the L is for your linking sentence, and then that will lead you on to the next paragraph. So that's a really good reminder just to make sure that everything flows. So your assignment criteria. Your work will be assessed using this marking guide, and this is just a screenshot from the A1 page. Please be sure that you visit this and be able to tick this off. This is a holistic rubric, which means that you need to be able to tick off all of the points in, for example, the past section before you can move up to the credit section. So it's really important that you visit this criteria on the A1 page and ensure that you can tick everything off there. Now, if you do need an extension request, please fill out the online form via the A1 page. Your ELA can approve requests of up to 48 hours. If you need anything longer, you do need to provide supporting documentation such as a medical certificate. So please make sure you upload that at the time of the request. So extra support for this assignment, make sure you use the A1 Q&A thread and ask questions, use the Padlet, there's a heap of resources on there, participate in all the weekly discussion board activities, attend the Collaborate live sessions or watch the recordings, utilize Studiosity if you're having a bit of difficulty with your phrasing or grammar or structure. There's a heap of resources on the Student Hub that you can search for different key terms. You can search for report writing, you can search for referencing, you can search for APA. So make sure you utilize all the great resources there on the Student Hub. And if you're still struggling, you're more than welcome to contact the student advisors or student coaches for extra support. Now, there will be 2 live collabs for this assignment, and we're just currently finalising those with the teaching team. We will post those out as soon as we have finalised all of those dates and times. Thanks, everyone, for watching this flipped collab, and we're looking forward to reading your work. Bye.